Hello, I'm Invector and welcome to my new Hearts of Iron 4 video with no step back expansion. This video is uncut and is meant as a guide for new and inexperienced players. We will be playing as Germany and we will be conquering the Allies and the Comintern. As research, we research more research, industry and construction and artillery. As construction, we are going to build civilian factories in high infrastructure provinces. We are going to set up our production. We'll be using infantry and air, so we cancel light tanks and tactical bombers. We are also going to set up the navy, complete the half-done ships and make submarines. We will be going down the standard historical tree, Anschluss and checks as fast as possible. We organize the armies. And we make tons and tons of cavalry. We'll be switching them to infantry later. Rhineland is done. We force deploy our cavalry. We can't do Anschluss now, so we are going to do army innovations. Switch the deployed cavalry into infantry, so that we get enough manpower on field for Anschluss. We appoint the political power guy. We also get a spy. You should be getting an infiltrator, a Soviet, or a seducer. If you can't get neither of those, anything is fine, I guess. Normally, as Germany, you can declare wars as soon as you start the game. But in this run, we are going to stay peaceful until we complete the focus Danzig or war, and then conquer Poland, United Kingdom, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Belgium, France. I will not be conquering Yugoslavia, Denmark, or Norway, but you can totally do that. We are just going the normal down the way of research, just research, more research, industry, construction, and the things that you need, like artillery, infantry, and stuff like that. You will see all of them in this video. We need at least 950,000 men for Danzig or war, but we will get more men from Austria also when we do Anschluss, so it won't be a problem. Now I'm just setting up the naval invasion for our invasion of United Kingdom. We need 10 divisions in our first wave of naval invasion, but we can send more people. Now we are going to do Anschluss and merge with Austria. Just keep deploying troops until you have enough to do Danzig or war. We also need to man our front lines as well. I'm going down the path of dispersed industry. Like basically, dispersed is best if you plan on playing further than 1940. I am also exercising my troops so that their levels are higher in order to fight better. You shift click, that means they are just going to train up to level 3 because as with training they won't go on higher levels. Now we are going to hire the second guy who gives PP, Rudolf Hess. As the 5 branches complete, now you can see that we are getting the second spy. Now here I make a mistake. As the civil war in Spain starts, we should be sending volunteers right away, and air volunteers also, to help nationalists win, and also get air and army XP for ourselves. So Anschluss is done, we are merged with Austria, now we are going down the path of Sudetenland and then Czechoslovakia. For a collaboration government to work, you need to set up at least three of them, but sometimes fourth is needed if you don't get any bonuses while doing them. So you need three spies because it takes two spies to conduct a collaboration government mission. If you have only two spies, when they are working for the collaboration government mission, they lose all the intelligence on the country. So they can't just, when the mission completes, you can't just do another mission because you have no more intelligence on the country. So you have to build up the intelligence you have on the country. But if you have three spies, the third spy can still work on the intelligence, and when the first mission, the first collaboration mission ends, you can just start another one immediately. So that's why we need three spies. And we can start preparing for a collaboration government mission. And we can just do three of them or four of them. Not only collaboration missions raise the surrender limit, so the enemy surrenders earlier, because for most countries you need to get at least 80% of their victory points to make them surrender. But if you have full collaboration, you only need 50% of the victory points. But it also gives compliance on the land conquered. So when we conquer Soviet Union, we will have 100% compliance on all of their provinces. This is great for Soviet Union, United States, all the big countries. As you also saw, I changed my primary template. So 30 widths work great in no step back, since you mostly fight on plains and sometimes in urban areas. Plains have 90 max width and urban has 96. We can start hiring the army guys for the trickling army XP, and we also need them for the bonuses they give us, like the infantry bonus and the attrition bonus. Demand Sudeten line is complete. Now we do the next focus, first Vienna Award. We need to adjust the production accordingly. You could also make transport planes, since supporting troops with transports is kind of busted right now. But I won't use it, since it is going to be heavily nerfed in the next patch, and they've just confirmed it. Sometimes your agents get captured. Just free them. Don't be lazy about the collaboration missions. It is vital, especially if you want to do the new achievement in No Step Back, which is capitulate Soviet Union without taking Stalingrad as Germany. We will get this achievement in this run. We go to war economy. The prepare collaboration government mission is complete, like prepared, but we can't do it because our two guys are in jail. So we have to free them first, then we can do the mission. Now we can do Fate of Czechoslovakia. Every time when I finish a research, I just look at all of my options and pick the most optimal one. Our spies are freed. Now we can set them up and do the collaboration government mission. Now I realize that the civil war in Spain has started. So now I'm uh, preparing my 5 uh, like best divisions to send, like the most equipped one. The general you choose is also important. So I'm going to free up the other divisions from um Heinz, and I will be sending him over to Spain, along with a lot of airplanes, as much as I'm allowed, of course. Now you click Send Volunteers, pick Heinz, and click the Send Air Volunteers button. Now we can also send planes. If you click any of your planes, it will tell you how many planes you can send over to the country that you are helping. Now I'm gathering all of my planes in one position. I have fighters, I can send tactical bombers. I'm sending it up to send to Spain. 246 or 247 planes. I'm sending over to Spain. Close air support and logistical strike. It's a new mission. It bombs the trucks and the trains for logistics. Our divisions are there. We can just use them and help national Spain win. Not like they need any help anyway. They usually almost always win in no step back. But we will help them win and we'll gain experience from what we are doing. We can also set up a field marshal. They will get experience from this fight, but just a little, not too much, because just 5 divisions. I'm setting a front line and then attack order. Set the offensive line and just push. You can technically micromanage this, but you don't really have to. You'll see when I'm conquering the Soviet Union, you don't have to micromanage anything to win even the most difficult battles. Now, fate of Czechoslovakia, you can just annex everything. It's the best choice, I think. Mostly because I'm a single tech world conquest guy. I just like to take everything for myself. Now we can go towards Danziger War by doing research Eastern claims, or we can prepare more. It's optional. Most people like to conquer early. I usually do too. But in this run, I'm just going to show you how to like properly prepare for a fight and how easily you can win if you are properly prepared. Now I have finished almost all of my civs. I'm building mills. I'm checking if I have put mills in my non-core territory. Now that I see that I haven't, there is no problem. Because you have to want to build in your core provinces when you're building. I'm training more cavalry just to fill up the spaces. I want 5 full army groups of 24 divisions and full infantry. As you see, I'm preparing research for tanks, not because I want tank divisions, but because I want to use the new flame tank support. You'll see that I'll design it and I will use it in all of my divisions. It's very expensive if you do it in all of your divisions because we are gonna have 120 divisions and it requires a whole ton of tanks. But if you just have one full army of 24 divisions to push, you can probably give them all a flaming tank, and it just helps with like everything. Like it gives armor, it gives breakthrough, and most importantly, it gives bonus to terrain. So in some terrains, you normally get a negative multiplier to your attack, but with flaming tank, you actually get a positive modifier to attack. So I'm building 4 more cavalry to fill up my division here. So reassert Eastern claims is done. We are going to get Memel with this. Now we can do Danzig or War, or we can prepare further. And I chose to prepare further. There is nothing wrong with doing just Danzig or War and going to war, but I wanted to prepare further. I'm just checking my supply situation. Like, we are 35,000 guns in, but we have too many divisions, so it's normal. But we are getting there. We are making more. And we also haven't added additional artillery to our divisions yet. Now that I'm doing that, switching my divisions. Here, I don't want to switch generals, but I want Rommel to have the better equipped army. So I'm just switching the divisions around. Because if you replace generals, they have a period of time that they are not able to use their skills. Now I'm just analyzing what is my best option, and I chose to go with the radio. Now, as you see, we are trickling in air XP and army XP. Like, it's something better than nothing. We are also helping nationalists win. With the new spirit system, you can actually get the bold attack if you're going to attack many countries, especially if your generals are low level, especially level 1, because the more times you level up, the more chances you have of getting +1 attack on your general. So you can actually get 10 attack level 6 generals, as I've done in my Romanov Russian run. So about the army experience, fighting is of course the best way to get army experience. And then comes, I think, the attaches, especially to Japan or China, as China and Japan are fighting. Then comes the Chief of Army and Military High Command, because they give trickling army XP, especially if you're non-aligned, you can do that. And like democracies, like not many people play democracies, but if you're a democracy, you can do that. They'll give passive army experience trickling in, and it really adds up. An expert advisor gives 0.09 experience a day, and it accumulates to 34 experience per year. So if you have 4 of those, you get 132 army experience just from advisors in 1 year. Yeah, the new Soviet Union captures a lot of spies. It's a new built-in thing about NVKD or whatever it is called. So you really need those special like infiltrators, seducers, or even better, Soviet spies like double agents uh, to do any missions, because they all get captured all the time. So I'm just doing industrial focuses here. Autarky is really good. And those give 6 factories each. We can also align Hungary and Romania, but it's not vital. We can just beat up Soviet Union as ourselves. So I'm gonna go with autarky here. Japan versus China has started. We can actually send an attaché to Japan as they are fascist and we are fascist also. Maybe shouldn't have said those words on YouTube, but okay. We don't really need extensive conscription. We can do the cast designer to get better casts or better fighters, because the fighter agility really boosts up your fighters. Maybe it's better to go for the cast agility as Germany. Now, for this execution thing, like the battle aggressiveness, the difference between aggressive and balanced plan. When you set up a battle plan, balance will only move up to the where you selected, but aggressive will not stop there and will continue moving further. So if you want to conquer and just like move everywhere you can as much as possible, you should pick aggressive. But know that if you pick aggressive, then your guys will attack even though they might not be able to win. So you will spend a lot of manpower and other equipment by doing so. We have enough army XP to pick another national, like the doctrine or a spirit. So I'm just going to pick a spirit. I'm just checking which is good, which is bad. Like political power, okay, but this one is really good. Professional Officer Corp, because it gives more XP, less costs of doctrines, more CP. It's a good spirit. Really, actually balanced, good spirit. We are almost done with Spain. Autarky is complete. And we are gonna get 6 free civs. Just by helping nationalist Spain win in this civil war, we gained 2 spirits, the experience for the divisions that are fighting. We got army XP to further our doctrines. It's just overly the best thing you can do to gain XP. I had to split the video here, but rest assured that you haven't really missed a thing. Now that the Spain is over, I'm preparing to attack the Allies. I'm gonna check my divisions, check my generals, check my equipment. How prepared am I to attack France, Poland, and the other countries, and especially United Kingdom? I'm just checking sure that everything that I have power on checking is checked. Everything is as prepared as possible. You don't really have to help Bulgaria, but it's only 12 fighters, so why not? Like in a normal game, you might want to get Bulgaria as your ally. So that's a very cheap way to get an ally. Now I'm going to do anti-democratic and anti-communist raids for higher stability, because those decisions will actually give you higher stability and will help you gain more fascist support, which will also boost your stability. You never want to have stability or war score lower than 80%, since when a war breaks out, you will lose 30% stability, and if you are the attacker, you will also lose 30% war support. If you have less than 50% stability, at any point you might get strikes, which is like horrible, and draft dodging if you have less than 50% war support, which is also horrible. So you have to make sure that you have 80% stability and 80% war support at all times. So that if you attack someone, you don't get strikes or draft dodging. I'm just checking the situation in Soviet Union here. We didn't get a Russian or an infiltrator or a seducer, so I just took whatever. And I'm checking. Yep, the Prepare Collaboration Government Mission. It's so important for Soviet Union and United States. Also for Germany, if you are not Germany, of course. Sending 50 fighters here is not a good choice, but the second option, you get plus 10% production cost to tactical bombers, and since we are not building tactical bombers, it doesn't really affect us. Now, as I get more PP, I'm thinking about going to free trade, because free trade is actually really good because it gives you resource bonus, re sorry, research bonus, and construction bonus, and those are really good. But since we are going to be fighting, I might not actually want that because we need a lot of resources, and going to free trade makes you trade your resources away, and you might not get civilian factories from that because they need to be buying them. So I opted not to go for it, but free trade is usually very beneficial. Now I'm thinking how to spend my PP, and I chose the stability option. Now about concentrated and dispersed industry. If you want to play more than a few years, like 1940, and you plan on researching and updating your equipment, like the better guns, the better artillery, whatever, you should always go for the dispersed because it gives you retention. And retention means that you don't have to start over from scratch when you switch off from your old guns to new guns. So that's probably the best choice if you want to research new stuff and want to make the new stuff. Now, actually, I'm I'm deciding if I want the research slot or other focuses, or if I'm ready to declare war by going Danzig or war. Now, what do I need to win this war? We need to capitulate United Kingdom and France, since they are the two major powers. However, if I waste too much time fighting France after capitulating United Kingdom, Canada might become a major since democratic nations can share factories with other nations, so we will need to capitulate France first, then United Kingdom. Now, you are going to watch me micromanage my planes. This is very important and this takes time, and it's very annoying, but it's very important. So we need to exercise them, and we need to separate them into manageable stacks, so that in the fights we can use them optimally. And I'm also merging my fleet so that I can use it to navally invade uh, United Kingdom. Now watch, 800 fighters. I separate them and then divide them by 200s, and then add more fighters to one of them, and then separate, like split it 2 times, and like it's the 200 stacks that I'm going to use for each of the air wings. Close air support, it's 200 also. I'm going to put them in another airfield. Put the 800, split them, and I'm going to train them. Danziger war is almost complete, and we are going to be at war with the Allies. Now, as you see, I'm checking everything to make sure everything is perfect. Our naval invasion is ready, and when the war kicks off, we are immediately going to be launching our naval invasion. And I'm putting the other, like the planes ready, and the navy ready. Everything should be ready for the invasion, because if you can't invade at the first second at the war starts, you might have difficulty, because England and France's navies are very powerful, like way beyond the power of Germany's or Italy's naval power. And if you don't finish the war by 1941, uh, Japan first attacks Philippines, which puts them at war against United States, and then they attack Dutch East Indies. And if you have attacked Netherlands, United States will join the Allies, and you will have to navally invade United States, and it's extremely difficult to do so. Poland rejects. We are going to prepare around the Maginot, because we have to attack Netherlands and Belgium and Luxembourg to not to go through the protected area of France's border with us. So I'm just preparing my planes, the fighters, the casks. Also, they all help sink the whatever ships the Britain has in those waters. The training is done. We are going to bomb the waters first, and then we are going to take our fighters and casks over to British Isles and use them there. You can actually see the little red dots near the air wings. You can see which one of them are not being used and which one of them are being used. Poland refuses. We get war support. Sorry, I think we don't. UK and France gets that, actually, I think. And we declare war. Now, our naval invasion should be launching immediately. And watch closely what I'm doing with the naval invasion. Because I'm not just going to send 10 guys, I'm going to send all 15 of my divisions. Just check what I'm doing. And I'm pushing only with the attacking the divisions. Okay, now watch. They haven't launched. So I'm going to wait until they launch. As you put the bombers on there, you will bomb some of the ships of United Kingdom and France, and they will go back to port to repair. And when they go back, you can actually launch your naval invasions. So we are waiting for that. I'm pulling back some of the fighters to protect my air. The closer you put the planes to the area that you're going to conduct the missions, the better they will fight. So if you have chaos fighters, whatever planes, trying to do something on a region, try to put them in the closest possible airfield, like the center of the area that they want to be fighting. You'll see me do that a number of times during this video. I'm just pushing with whatever because Poland is weak. Sorry, Polish guys. I actually love Poland. I'm just putting the transport planes there. Why not? Use it for supply. They're gonna die anyway because see, our naval invasion has launched. Now I am unassigning, then reassigning the new guys to the same order. You can launch any number of divisions this way. We have landed. They are guarding the port, but we can get the port from the guys that have landed. They have landed on the other side too. So we are going to attack Newcastle, get the port, and then conquer United Kingdom. But not capitulate them. You can send any number of divisions with the tactic that I have shown, but I don't recommend sending more than 24 divisions. Like if you send too much, you will actually starve of support supply, and you will actually lose your divisions. And losing two full divisions is like two army of divisions is really devastating. So don't do that. Now we don't really need the ships on the seas anymore, so I'm going to use them to support my army on United Kingdom. So I'm sending them there. You might need a little micromanaging, especially for United Kingdom. We have our war goals for the Low Countries, but first we have to capitulate Poland and break the United Kingdom's spirit before we can attack them. Now I'm checking which one I should do. Looking good. We are pushing Poland. We are killing United Kingdom, and we are holding France. France never really pushes from their border, the Maginot Line, but you never know. Now we can encircle and push. War bonds is good. And now I just realized I'm out of oil. So I'm gonna get oil. I'm checking if it's enough. I get more. check if it's enough. It's not, so I get more, and it's enough. Like the moment you see green, that means you are getting more than you are spending, so that you are not on a deficit. Now that we have more airfields, I'm gonna bring more planes. Back in the day, I could just spam anti-air, give anti-air to all of my divisions, and just forget about air. But now it's not really possible because you can bomb supply, and it just starves the troops out of supply, and they are de-orged like all the time. And I'm going to use it like when I'm attacking also. So you can't really just do anti-air and forget about air. You have to build an air force and use them. And as you have just seen, the troops sometimes just sit around. You might need to just manually make them attack like this. Just check whatever you're doing, what your troops are doing. Check all the time. Both charismatic and infantry expert are great for our field marshal because we are going to be using infantry and we also need the organization. Now I thought of navally invading France here, but then opted not to show you how to invade through low countries because like historically that's what happened and you don't really need to navally invade them anyway because invading through Ardennes or Belgium is actually very easy. Now as you see here, front lines can mess up like this, so you have to be fixing them manually like this. It like it famously happens in the United Kingdom, Finland, United States, Canada, Korea, Denmark. You just have to fix it manually. There is no way around that. Now you will be seeing we prepare the new support, a flamethrower tank. We pick the highest reliability and highest armor we can. We don't care about the other stats like soft attack, hard attack. We don't care. We want reliability and armor. So we want the diesel engine. We want the cast armor. Know that the heavy flame tank flamethrowers are extremely good, but also very expensive. It gives a lot of buffs. We are going to max out the armor and give enough engine so it's 4 kilometers per hour, because otherwise you can't save the template. We also should set it up as flame support company so that we can actually add them to divisions as a support, and then we're done. We just pick armor and reliability. You can get Dozer Blade here if you are going to play defensively because it gives entrenchment, but we are not going to do that. So I opted not to get anything here. Defense breakthrough, we don't need those. We need armor. So we are going to max the armor. 101.7 armor. But we can't save it because we need to be at 4 kilometers per hour minimum. And now we can save it as flame support company. You can pick auto upgrade. I don't really know what it does, but I decided not to. And we save. Now we need to be producing it and then add them as a support. You can see what it gives here. Like 0 armor infantry to 19.4 armor infantry, which is like huge. And we can add and produce it. I'm just going to decommission the others so that I don't get confused. Of course, we need more factories to produce them, but we are gonna get factories. We are gonna conquer a lot of countries in a moment. UK is almost done, and we are gonna be conquering the other countries. And also here, you are going to pick, if you want, of course, a preferred tactic. Know that the preferred tactics you pick for generals and field marshals are permanent. So if you pick something defensive, then you win the war, and you want to go on an offensive, you can't really change the preferred tactic on your general. So you have to really think about what you're doing. But for the country, under the officer corps, you can also pick a preferred tactic, but then you can change it later if you want. And I'm going to improve my stability. I'm building synthetics here, but it's really not that important because we are gonna conquer like Netherlands and we are gonna get rubber anyway, so. But if you can't finish the war, you are not going to get rubber that way, and the oil is going to be a problem always. Even if you conquer Romania, until you actually conquer Soviet Union, the oil is going to be a problem. Now I'm pulling back my airplanes because I don't really need them anymore in United Kingdom and putting them on Poland until we finish Poland. Then I'll be using them in the Low Countries and France. Don't exceed the limit of the airport, by the way. It just makes your planes useless. Warsaw is fallen, and Poland will fall very soon. Poland has capitulated. Now we can send our armies to Netherlands, then Belgium, then Netherlands. Never declare on them at the same time, like Germany usually does, because if you do that, you can't kill the Dutch army because they will flee to Belgium. But if you don't declare on Belgium, you can kill the Dutch army or whatever division they have on there, like maybe United Kingdom's divisions. You can kill them in Netherlands. Then if you declare on Belgium, they will not be able to survive because they will have nowhere to retreat. Now I'm setting my planes. I have exceeded the capacity of the airfield, so I'm just splitting my planes around as close as possible, of course, just so they perform better. One more. Now we are ready. Now we can declare on Netherlands. And push, push, push. Be careful not to capitulate United Kingdom. You might mess up your save. The red light district is done. Now we make ourselves a waffle. Declare on Belgium. Italy wants in. Now you can invite Italy to your faction, but don't call them into the war because they will suffer casualties. The war in Africa will start, and at the end of the war, they will get war score and they will like steal uh, territories from you, probably northern England. So don't call them in. The reason that we get so many aces, we have many different air divisions or like the air planes, different. You get the idea. This is why we split them by 200s, so it's easier to manage them, and you also get tons of aces. So Belgium is done, we can conquer Luxembourg and France, and we will capitulate United Kingdom, and our war is done. Just taking the northern France is enough to make them capitulate. Put the planes in order. I'm pulling the planes closer so they are more efficient. Now we can kill Luxembourg also. So we declare war. We can just manually attack them. They have like 1 or 2 divisions at most, so it's not important. I took a break here, but you didn't miss anything. I just switched to one higher, like extensive conscription. That's all. We need manpower because we are going to man garrisons. Luxembourg is done, and France is almost fall of Paris and France falls. Germany will conquer all. So now we are just going to finish off UK and the war will be over and we get a peace deal. Know that if you send naval invasions to Canada, Australia, New Zealand and South Africa and British Malaya and the Raj, you will also get them in the peace deal. But I'm not going to meddle in with that. It takes too much time and it's not important. I didn't bother for this video. So in the peace deal, only we get the war score because no one was in the war, and we are just going to conquer all, annex everything, except Raj or Malaya, of course, because they are puppets of United Kingdom, which we have to puppet also because we didn't fight directly. So Allies is over. Well, Allies isn't gone, of course. Probably Canada is leading Allies now, or Australia. Probably Canada though. But now we are not at war, and we can prepare for the invasion of Soviet Union. As our compliance grows in the captured lands, we will get more manpower, resources, and factories from there. So our number of factories will grow up, and we'll be more powerful. Now I'm just going to manage my divisions, get 5 full armies of 24 divisions to attack Soviet Union. So I'm just gonna switch the odd track company division, and I'm going to train 6 plus 3, 9 divisions. 9 more divisions, and that will be enough for Soviet Union. Collaboration mission is done, and we have full collaboration in Soviet Union. You don't need spies at this, temporarily. Like, you don't really need them in Soviet Union. You can use them for other things, like infiltrate the army. Say if you wanted to conquer United States also, like if you were doing a road conquest, you could send these spies to United States and actually prepare a collaboration government there, so your conquest is swifter. Here I'm going to show you the difference between a field marshal front line and a general front line. You'll see the cons and pros of both of them. So in order to do the achievement, I need to not capture Stalingrad, but I will need to capitulate Soviet Union. So I'm very carefully drawing the line. It actually looks easier than it is, so you have to do that. So I'm just going to set up my attack order like this to get all the victory points, and Moscow and Leningrad, of course, and done. And we also have to train them. Now we have to prepare for the invasion of the Soviet Union. And of course our airfield, our armies, our navies, everything should be in order to win the war as efficiently as possible. Now you will see how to manage the supply system, the railways, because Germany starts with great set of railways, but not on the Eastern Front, because we got Poland. Now I'm checking where I need supply, where I don't need supply. I actually need all my army on the Eastern Front to see which armies are getting supplied and which aren't. So that I need to see where I need to make railways, if I need to make other things. I just realized that my template for occupied, like the garrison template, is bad, so I just switched it. I'm just going to use cavalry with um, the military police. That's the best way. You can use civilian garrisons or a local police force. Both are good. It just depends on the person. Usually, if you have enough equipment and manpower, you should do civilian because it gives more compliance. I'm also deleting the divisions that my puppets give me, since deleting them actually gives the divisions back to my puppets, and I don't really want to use their unoptimized rubbish divisions. Now you see me checking the supply. When you click on a supply hub, you can see which route it uses to get supply. So I'm just looking where should I make a new line, because Poznan is not directly linked to Moscow, to Berlin. So I just prepared a railway there, and I'm checking where I need more. So those places need 2 more, and the northern places need 1 more each. After I have 2 in every way to the front line, I will improve them. And this province actually don't have a supply hub, so I'm gonna build a supply hub in that province. Now I'm going to add the flame tank support to my division. I'm also adding recon. We don't have enough tanks yet, but it will get supplied as we get more tanks. And I'm switching all of my templates to the primary attack template. And also, of course, train them. We have more airplanes. We will need to deploy them. 800 and split twice. As I have learned, you can actually do like just 200 and then hit F, and it just duplicates the air wing. I think you can try that also, but this is the way that I'm doing. And I'm just going to deploy the naval bombers, of course, as well, so that we can stop the naval invasions if Soviets attempt to do so. Hungary wants to join. Fine, whatever. You can attack Denmark and Norway, but I choose not to. This one actually is a really good focus. You can try that. Venezuela wants to join. Okay, why not? The Improve National Spirit, I think it is called. It's a great national focus. It gives a ton of political power. Now, I'm not deploying these guys. I'm just going to wait for them. Bulgaria wants stuff. Fine, I don't care. I'm I'm adjusting production. We don't really need too many guns, but we need more tanks. We need more artillery. So I will be adding to those. Just make that adjustment when you're playing. Just check your supply, and if you have too much of one thing, take some factories from there and put it to where you need. You have too many guns. We have a deficit of tanks and artillery still. Infiltrate army is done. Note that infiltrating the army gives army experience. Now, most of our construction is complete, except the hub. So I'm checking where I need railways. I'm making a straight line of level 5 railways from my capital Berlin to the front line. Then I will make level 5 railways between the supply hubs on the front line. Congestion isn't a thing in Hearts of Iron 4, especially on this. So you don't have to make two separate level 5 railways from your capital to the front line. We are not playing Railway Empire. Like, they haven't made it too complicated. Here I'm having a trouble with my key sticking. Apologies for that. Note the speed of PP we are getting. Now that the improved national spirit is complete, we will get a lot more. So I will need to find ways to spend that to make my country better. This focus isn't actually needed. I just said, what the hell, let's do it. Our divisions are ready. Now we have 5 full armies of the optimal attack infantry template, except 3 of them, which are light tanks. Now that I see Italy is preparing to attack someone, I'm gonna kick them out because I don't want to be in another fight with them. Now I'm checking where I need more railways. You see the red line? That's what it's using, and we need to improve that. But we can choose to improve whatever we like. You don't have to do what the game says. The hub isn't complete, that's why we are seeing red there. And the other places are red because we only get 15 supply in them. Note that I'm not doing any glitches or uh, things that break the game a little. I'm just playing as straight as I can to show you how to do it properly. Now, about spies. If you put spies on a province of an enemy, you actually lower their entrenchment so that your invasions can go better. It is possible to also do combined attack with spies, but I never really tried it, but it could work well, I think. So the railways are almost complete. So I'm gonna build radars so my planes work better. And I will be building airfields so that I can put more planes on the front line. Now I'm just checking where I can use my political power to make my divisions fight better or make my country better. Just like anything that make me fight better. We have more military factories, more artillery, more tanks. Now I'm going to deploy more planes. Push them to 800 and split them twice. And exercise. German war economy is complete. We don't need that. We can actually go ahead for the war with the USSR. So anti-Comintern pact will be the next focus. We are almost ready to invade them. Now, I decided to build another supply hub near the existing one, you will see. Since I have so many civilian factories, I can just do that. But it wasn't needed at all. I'm just checking, like I'm building more mills. It's not really needed. You'll see here. Those trucks mean that your supply on that hub will use trucks to supply the troops. So this one, this supply hub didn't really need to be there. It's not needed because like you will be pushing and it will be like long way back. You know, it will not help you if you start to push, and we will push immediately. Now I can build more military factories. As you might have guessed, that was a mistake. Now I'm gonna take a break here. That's why it's cut, but you didn't really miss anything. Don't worry. Now we are waiting for the focuses to complete. So I'm just gonna check armies, check the airfields, check the like planes, everything. Infiltrate air is also complete. I'm just checking everything twice to make sure that I'm optimally prepared to invade the United States. Sorry, the USSR. I'm just checking my division to see if I messed up with anything like combat with or supports. And our focus is done, and we are doing our last focus before we attack Soviet Union. Our airfields are almost complete. We have almost fully equipped, fully trained, and fully supported army and a huge air force. And it's only 1939. And we actually took our sweet time to attack. And we have 700 PP to spend. Like we don't really have anything to spend it on. So about Japan, we have to talk about this. Japan has a focus that will make them attack the southern places like the Dutch East Indies. But now we own the Dutch East Indies, so they might attack us. So we need to sign a non-aggression pact with Japan to make them not attack that. Suppressive barrage is actually a really good tactic to use. And it's a default tactic. It doesn't require you to have a certain amount of stat or a certain amount of hardness to use that, because tactics like blitz will require you to use tanks. You can't use those tactics with infantry. Now I'm checking Japan if I can get them to like me enough to sign a non-aggression pact. So war with the USSR is complete. We are ready to attack. We have our war goal. We can also befriend Japan, which is the thing we want. Now, the final preparation of the attack. Those will be on Ukraine. We have even more planes to deploy. To 800. Split twice on Ukraine. Those will be on Belarus. Deploy more CAS. CAS is extremely powerful in this game, by the way. We need the Navy as well to stop Soviet Union from navally invading us. Split the big one. That's fine. Put them on always engage. We have to PP to do it, but it also reserves your command power, so you don't really want to do that. We have exceeded airfields, manage them. I know managing air force is pain, but it is so necessary in No Step Back. You will see how easy we are going to push with proper divisions and air force, with no troop micromanagement or tanks or whatever. Encirclements, those are all like a thing of the past, thanks to the new supply system. You can, of course, do them if you want, but it's not necessary anymore. So, we can now declare on Soviet Union. Here we go. War bonds, of course. And this is the achievement that we are going for. Capitulate Soviet Union without taking the city of Stalingrad. We just checked to see if they would push, and they didn't. So now we are going to. Check the air to see if we have green air. We are just pushing them, like, completely. Yeah, ace is high, let's go. That is another plus of the, like, using air. You get so many aces, you get 100% war support, like always, if you have aces, if you have an air force. And I'm just going to give suppressive barrage to all of my generals. It's a good tactic, and it's the only tactic that we can use with superior firepower. Some countries like Russia get some tactics with their focuses, but I think Germany doesn't. I'm not sure. But this tactic is good. You can also boost it with this. See, Suppressive Barrage, 100% more. And it is a default tactic. You can use it with any divisions. Green Air. And we are also pushing north, so we need an air force there. Fall of Kiev. Like, you're seeing how easy we are pushing. And I'm just going to distribute the planes evenly until we get green air on every place. And I'm pushing the planes to like closer to the front line so that they get more efficiency. Also, when we were conquering United Kingdom, you see the front line break at the like southwest. The front line will also break here at Sevastopol, so you will need to manually target it with your divisions. Our divisions are so powerful. We are like they are not really doing anything. We are just pushing them. New planes, deploy them. You see here. You need to manually attack Sevastopol. You can't like perform the frontline thing. After you take the first tile, then you can do it. Now that we can set a front line. This isn't important, just pick whatever. Small encirclement, always good. I'm gonna push my planes forward. More artillery. And we have a new CAS. We can actually modify this with 75%, I think. Like cheaper because of the spirit that we took for the airplanes. See here? Dive bombing. Befriend Japan is complete. Now we can try a non-aggression pact with Japan. We can pick a preferred tactic with because level 4. Yeah, we need one more point to enact a non-aggression pact with Japan. So what I'm going to do is diplomatic pressure. Thanks to that, we will be able to enact a non-aggression pact. You can do that with any country. Now, if you don't want to watch the little micromanaging things like the air and the armies and stuff, you can like push ahead if you want in the video. But I wanted to show everything in case if someone wants to see how to properly conquer the Soviet Union without any stops, any cuts, any speeding up. Italy is justifying on Yugoslavia. I'm gonna kick them. I don't want to be in fight with Yugoslavia, or I don't want to see them join Comintern. If Italy wants to conquer them, they can do it on their own. Those planes are not necessary in that place anymore, so we are going to put them on other places. We can need more trucks because of supply. Also, one of our supports are using trucks, so we need them. Small encirclement, destroy that. Good. Now that our lines are connected, I can actually remove the army order from the fourth guy and combine it with the field marshal order. But you will see why I dislike the field marshal order, because the armies will switch places. Now watch. You see what they're doing? Little idiots. They switch places. Like, why? This is why I almost never use field marshal orders, because you can't give different orders to them, that they will have to follow the same order, and they do this kind of shit. And I'm out of oil, so I'm buying oil. Still not enough. Not too much. Get a little from United States. Good. Green air. We are on the gates of Leningrad, Stalingrad, and Moscow. And remember that because of the collaboration governments, we only need to capture 50% of their victory points to capitulate them. We need more tanks, we need more trucks. Now I decided to get rid of the field marshal orders and push army by army, because I want to push aggressively with the 4 of the armies, and with the single army that is near Stalingrad that we don't want to capture, I'll be pushing casually. And you will see how powerful it is to push with aggressive orders. It will eat up your manpower and your equipment, but it's so much better than just like casual or balanced pushing. It's so much better. We have to be delicate for the Stalingrad army to not take Stalingrad, so we will attack with that army casually and constantly watch Stalingrad to make sure that we don't get it. Set the front line. Carefully set the offensive line, not to take Stalingrad in, and never use aggressive, just casually, or balance, both are good. Remember to check supply once and again to see if there are any problems. As for the air spirits, centralized control seems a good spirit to have, but if you have more info about which one is best, let me know on the comments. Now we have Blitz to choose from, but as you hover over it, you need hardness over 50%. So we don't pick that because we are infantry. Leningrad is fallen, we are one step closer to victory. And if we take Baku and Moscow, they will probably fall. They are very close, just 5% more. Moscow is taken and we won the war. We are gonna take everything, annex all from Soviet Union, and there goes the achievement. So now we control many of the places we wanted to conquer, and we have 100% compliance on Russia. Let's continue a bit. See the provisional government of Soviet Union, because we have 100% compliance. And you can actually do a collaboration government if you want. I didn't. So if you wanted to continue, you could attack China and get military access from Japan and Order 66 them, or you can invade from Canada, like the northern part of Canada is ours. You can push into Canada and United States. But I'm gonna end the video here. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you have any questions or anything to tell me. All feedback is welcome. This has been Invector and a pleasure. Thank you.